Hey Hunter, can you get that birth plan out of my hospital bag? Okay, you got it? Yeah, now can you rip it up? Yeah, literally nothing that I had on my birth plan actually happened. It's Maggie Rose back with another video for you. I can't believe I didn't make this video sooner, but I just wanted to share with you guys my labor and delivery story. I know that I loved watching videos like this, so I figured maybe this would help one of you out there. So let's get started. I was 39 weeks pregnant at the time, and my sister actually was going in to be induced on Thursday the 15th of February. So my mom came down because she wanted to be in the area for my sister when she was having her baby, and I actually had an appointment at the doctor's office that morning, so she decided to come with me. And the doctor that I had was actually the same doctor that was in charge of inducing my sister. Anyway, so we get to the doctor's office, and while we were there, normal checkup, but they did my blood pressure and it was high. I don't remember what the actual numbers were. Even if I did, I don't know if I don't even know what normal is, but they told me it was high, so I believe them. But the nurse was actually kind of rude to me, and I said, well, is that bad? Is that okay? Like, what does this mean? And she just goes, oh, I don't mess with high blood pressure. My sister lost her baby because of it. Why would you say that to a 39-week pregnant mother? Why would you tell me that somebody lost their baby because of a high blood pressure? That's going to really help my blood pressure now, thank you. Anyway, so she goes out, talks to the doctor, comes back in. Long story short there, they told me that because I was already 39 weeks, they knew that it wasn't a risk to my baby being induced this late, so they wanted just to get me checked out at the hospital before they decided anything. So my mom and I travel over to the hospital, and I call Hunter on the way over. I'm like, I don't know what's going on really. They told me to go get checked out at the hospital. There's a 90% chance that I would be induced today, so I'm just letting you know if I call you back to leave work, go get our hospital bags and come meet us at the hospital. So we get to the hospital, and then they bring my mom and I into a labor and delivery room. I've been there before for different testing and stuff, and I know that there's a triage room and a labor and delivery room, and they put you in the triage room when they're just doing tests, but they put you in a labor and delivery room when you're going to go into labor. So we were kind of confused, and I asked the nurse there. The doctor that sent me over here said that I was supposed to be getting testing done to see if induction was an option for me, and she goes, oh, well, our instructions were to induce you. So my mom and I kind of looked at each other and just asked her, so we are getting induced, like right now I'm going to be induced. She said, yeah, I have to check you a little bit, but we're definitely inducing you this morning. Okay, then I started freaking out a little bit. Like, I wasn't planning on doing this. This is not how it was supposed to happen. I was supposed to go into labor at home, and I wanted to progress further at home and then be able to go into the hospital. But at this point, I'm being induced. I was only 1 centimeter dilated at my doctor's appointment, so I didn't know what to think. So I just started freaking out, and I'm glad my mom was there to calm me down. Oh, Aria's down here, so if you hear noises, she's playing on her playmat beside me. Like that. So I called Hunter back and I said, hey, listen, I'm actually being induced today, like right now. So as soon as you can get off work, please go home, get our stuff, and come here as soon as possible because I'm a little scared. But Hunter got there just in time because to progress me further, they could do either a medication or a balloon fully catheter? I'm not really sure what it's called, but they ended up doing that route because it would be faster to be induced that way. So the balloon Foley catheter, how the doctor explained it to me is that there's 2 balloons that they fill up with saline. So one of them is inside of your cervix and the other one is outside of your cervix. And when they expand them, that puts pressure and then it dilates you further. And then once you're to, I think it's a 4, is when it either is supposed to fall out or they pull it out, and they ended up yanking mine out. Anyway, that's kind of gross. But Hunter got there just in time as they were inserting that, and that was one of the most painful parts of the whole labor and delivery process. That particular moment, because there's so many different tools and things that they had to put inside of. Yeah, that was not fun, and it hurt a lot, to say the least. It's not fun. After that was inserted, I started to feel constant cramping, and right after that they started the Pitocin or Pitocin, I don't know. They started that, and that started to give me contractions, and the contractions felt a lot different than I thought they were going to feel. It just felt like a really dull, aching period cramp. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain until you actually go through it. You don't really know what to expect. But I just didn't feel any relief. I would go through contractions, but because of the catheter, I didn't really get any break from it, and they told me that it was going to be a long process. So I wanted to be able to get rest that night because I knew that once Aria got here, I wanted to be with her as much as possible. So I went ahead and I decided to get an epidural. I did not know that when you get an epidural, your husband cannot be in the room with you as they administer it. And I'm not sure why. I asked them, I said, can he not stay here? They're like, no, we prefer them to go out in the waiting room for this part. All right, so am I holding your hand? But when the anesthesiologist got there, he did the epidural, and then after he was finished, and that didn't hurt as much as I thought it would either, he told me that I should start feeling the effects in about 15 minutes. And then I told him, I said, well, my one leg is tingly and my other leg is starting to feel a little bit tingly, so I don't know, is that normal at this point? And he goes, oh, well then I went a little too far. What? What the heck is that supposed to mean? Am I paralyzed? Did you just paralyze me? I said, what? He goes, well, I went a little too far, so that just means that you could possibly have a headache after you're done delivering whenever the epidural wears off. And so I looked at him and I was like, wait a minute, so I'm not paralyzed, am I? And he laughed at me and told me that that doesn't really happen. I was still a little freaked out because I couldn't feel anything from my belly down, and it was kind of scary. I was able to sleep a little bit throughout the night, but it was kind of hard because they kept turning me every half hour. But I was very hungry, and I didn't know that I was going to be induced, so the last meal that I had was breakfast. So I was very hungry during this whole process, and they only allowed me to eat popsicles and jello. That wasn't very fun. But then after you're done delivering, you're not really that hungry because you're nauseous. People kept taking care of me. Everyone at that hospital is focused on you. They always come in and ask you, do you need anything? Do you want me to fill up your water? Do you want another popsicle? Do you want some more jello? Yes, yes, yes. But I wasn't progressing as much as they wanted me to, so at this point I had been in labor for about 18 hours, and I think I was still about 6 centimeters, and they wanted me to be, at 10 so I could start pushing. They told me that C-section was starting to become more of an option, and then I started to freak out. They turned me on my side again with something in between my knees, and then came back in about an hour, and then I had progressed enough for them to say, okay, you don't have to have C-section, but in an hour or two we'll start pushing. The doctor came in, she was very helpful, and she had a student or two with her, and I didn't plan on having any students in the room, but at this point everyone's already seeing you half naked, so why not invite more people to the show? I mean, come on, you just kind of lose your modesty at this point because you just don't even care anymore. Nope. But the Olympics were on the TV, so I did get to distract some of them by telling them, like, in between the pushes, I told them, hey, look at this person doing the skeleton. Yeah, wow, I couldn't do that. That's really fast. Yeah, look at her pretty helmet. That looks cute. I just didn't want a lot of people staring at me, so that was kind of my way of getting them to look away. Why I could do that was because my epidural, because he went in too far, it was so strong that I still couldn't feel anything. And at that point, the machine stopped picking up my contractions. So they kind of tried to rely on me, and I felt like a little bit of pressure now and then. So it was just exhausting, but not painful. It was exhausting to push with all of your might. I did it for about an hour and a half, which isn't that bad compared to a lot of other people that I know, but it was still just physically exhausting. Like, I was tired, and because my epidural was so strong, the one nurse was literally holding one of my legs and Hunter was holding the other one because I couldn't feel them to keep them up. I don't know, it felt like my legs weren't mine, and that was still very strange. And at one point the doctor told me to reach down. She's like, reach down here, feel this. She told me to touch my baby's head, and that was really cool. I mean, some people people think that's weird or gross, but that was a kind of surreal experience for me. After touching her head, it was like, oh my word, she's almost here. And I got really excited, and I knew that she did that, so I would push harder, and it worked. After that, it was maybe 2 more pushes and she was here, and that was amazing. It was just such a cool feeling whenever she got here, when they put her on my chest, and as soon as the doctor put her on my chest, she looked right into my eyes and grabbed my finger, and I started crying, and I looked down, and I was bleeding a lot, and I found out later that I had hemorrhaged. They gave me 2 shots in my legs for the blood that I was losing, and then as I was holding my daughter, I started to get really nauseous. I said, I think I'm gonna throw up. We'll get you something then. And I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna throw up like right now. Okay, well, do you need me to get you a bucket? Yes, I need a bucket. I'm gonna throw up. So they come over, they bring a bucket, and they like put it under my chin, but I'm holding Aria, and they put it like in between my chin and her head, and I'm like, how am I gonna throw up in a bucket when does anybody see what's wrong with this situation? Oh, do you want me to take your baby? Yes, I don't want to throw up on her. So finally she took Aria over there and they got her taken care of. And then I'm like throwing up all this popsicle juice, I guess. And the one nurse looks at me as I'm throwing up and goes, oh, those meds that we gave you in your legs, yeah, they'll probably make you nauseous. Really? And I finally started to feel better, and I had her poop all over me. I didn't even know she pooped on me. The one student was like, oh honey. Sorry. She was cleaning me up, wiping me down. I had poop in my little wristband for days. Okay. So Aria wanted to join me for the last little bit of this video. Didn't ya? Didn't ya? Yeah. After all that was done, then I started to get my massive headache that the guy was telling me about. And I'd never had a migraine before or anything, but man, I feel bad for the people who get migraines because I've never had a headache that bad. And apparently he explained it to me like there's a little water balloon inside of your back that they try to get as close as they can to it with the epidural. But he said he just barely touched the water balloon so that it's starting to leak a little bit of spinal fluid. And when it does that, it gives you a really bad spinal headache, and sometimes they have to treat that by doing a blood patch? Can't remember what he said he had to do to fix it, but sometimes he said it goes away on its own, other times he has to go in and do it again to get it to fix itself. And my headache was really bad. I had to tell Hunter to take off his shoes because when he walked, it hurt my head. It was really bad headache. My family was praying for me. They were praying that my headache would go away because it was really hard for me to be aware of what was going on around me. And then in the middle of the night, I woke up to pee. It was gone. Like my headache was completely gone. It was amazing. After that, I was able to eat. Pretty much had Chick-fil-A every day after that point. We had Chick-fil-A for breakfast a couple times, Chick-fil-A for lunch a couple times. Chick-fil-A. I don't know. I have an obsession, I guess. Oh, I forgot to say, it snowed. It was beautiful. I was hoping that it would snow while we were at the hospital, and it did, and I was so happy. I love snow, and it's one of my favorite things. But overall, the whole process went a lot smoother than I thought it would, and it was just a whole different experience in general than what I had expected it to be. It was amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better experience, and I'm so blessed with how everything turned out. I'm blessed with my little baby girl who's so happy and so healthy, and blessed with a father that is absolutely amazing, and he was amazing during the labor and delivery process and just continues to amaze me every day with how much he loves his little girl and loves me, and you have a great daddy, you know that? I tear up thinking about it, thinking about how blessed I am. I love my little family, and I just feel so blessed all the time. So thank you guys for watching. I had a really fun time making this video for you guys. If you had any questions for me, or if you want to see any other videos in particular, just leave a comment in the comment box. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit the bell button if you want to get notified when those videos come up. Oh, say thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Girl, are you my Chick-fil-A buddy? Are you my Chick-fil-A buddy? Yeah. Yeah.